Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, I'm Carly, and if you happen to like this video, it would mean the absolute world to me if you hit subscribe down below and joined our little community to experience weekly videos made with love from me. Today we're going to be talking about one of the things that I actually talk about for a living, and that is books. If you don't know, I am a high school English teacher, so talking about books is kind of one of my favorite things. But today I'm going to be talking about the 12 books I plan to be reading for 2020. So kind of how this all came about. At the end of 2019, for the last 6 months of the year, I decided that I was going to do a no-buy, which was actually really successful. And I guess one of the things that came out of that was me getting more use out of the things I already own and rediscovering some of the things that have been tucked away for a while. So because I couldn't buy any new books, going back and looking over some of my old books was really necessary. I had 2 fantastic years of immense reading and lots of, new books. But now that I've kind of, read up all of my books, my goal for 2020 is to select 1 book a month that I already own that's kind of going to be my reading book of that month. So I've compiled a list of all the 12 months and the book that I aim to read for each. And if you guys are keen to hear some of the things that are on my 2020 reading list, then just keep watching. Alright, my January book is a nice small one, and it's actually not a novel. It is a book of poetry. It's called The Apricot Memoirs and it's by Tess Gittery. And I'm actually friends with Tess. I haven't seen her for ages, but when she lived down my way, we used to go to church together and hang out with a similar crowd. So from personal experience, I know that she is a kick-ass person, but she is also super talented and creative. This is her first book of poetry. She's got a second book called The Moonflower Monologues, which just released sort of towards the end of last year. I got this one as a birthday gift from my sisters, and I've got to say I fell in love straight away. Her poetry is just so inspiring. It's all about love, motherhood, God, and just coming to terms with her own identity, wanting to live a slower life, a whole heap of different things that are just super inspiring. This is my January read. I chose a small one for the start of the year because I'm actually spending most of it overseas. So I wanted something that I could easily read within a week or less. So that is book number 1. Book number 2, and my February book, is actually one of only 2 fiction, and it's called Vampire Academy and it's by Rochelle Mead. I actually discovered this I think when I was just out of high school, and I was completely obsessed with Twilight. And another girl who I went to church with said, actually, you really need to read Vampire Academy. It's better than Twilight. And of course, being a twihard, I was like, girl, you don't know what you're talking about. Nothing is better than Twilight. I heart Edward. But I'm on Team Jacob now. Time, I realized, where my true love lies, Team Jacob. Anyway, I digress. Once I did actually pick up Vampire Academy and start reading it, I hate to admit this, and it could cause some controversy, but I do actually believe that this series is better than the Twilight series. I'll just read a little bit from the back to kind of give you guys a feel for what it's about, but it is vampires and romance. Lisa Dragomir is a Moroi princess, a mortal vampire with a rare gift for harnessing the Earth's magic. She must be protected at all times from Strigoi, the fiercest vampires, the ones who never die. The powerful blend of human and vampire blood that flows through Rose Hathaway, Lisa's best friend, makes her a Dhampir. Rose is dedicated to a dangerous life of protecting Lisa from the Strigoi, who are hell-bent on making Lisa one of them. After 2 years of freedom, Rose and Lissa are caught and dragged back to St. Vladimir's Academy, a school for vampire royalty and their guardians-to-be. Hidden in the dark forests of Montana, but inside the iron gates, life is even more fraught with danger, and the Strigoi are always close by. Rose and Lissa must navigate their dangerous world, confront the temptations of forbidden love, and never once let their guard down lest the evil undead make Lissa one of them forever. So if you are a Twilight fan, I certainly recommend giving this one a try. Book number 3, and this is my March read. It is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F. And it's by Mark Manson, and its sort of tagline is the counterintuitive approach to living a good life. I think I've read this one maybe twice, but I feel like every single time I read it, I pick up new insights. So I did actually read The Life-Changing Magic of Not Giving an F by Sarah Knight previous to this, but I've got to say this one is actually better and a whole heap more helpful because it deals sort of more with the psychological approach of, you know, the things that we dedicate our time and stress and worry to, and kind of how we were cultivated to be the person that we are today, and how we can sort of go back and see that path and that trend and maybe start to untangle things a little bit more. There's like a whole heap on the back here. I'll just read this little first paragraph. It says, for decades we've been told that positive thinking is the key to a happy, rich life. Drawing on academic research and the life experience that comes from breaking the rules, Mark Manson is ready to explode that myth. The key to a good life, according to Manson, is the understanding that sometimes life is messed up and we have to live with it. So really unpacking some of the myths we've been told, and I'm certainly ready to get into this one. This is my first non-fiction, like self-help kind of lifestyle book, and it's certainly not the last one that is going to be on my reading list for 2020. So my April read is going to be Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. I've only read this one once, and I did kind of find like the first half of it really good, and then it waned on me towards the end. So I'm sort of hoping that a second read through will change my perspective on it. But basically this entire text is all about creativity and how to harness your own creativity. On the back it says, readers of all ages and from all walks of life have drawn inspiration from Elizabeth Gilbert's books for years. Now this beloved author digs deep into her own generative process to share her wisdom and unique perspective on creativity. With profound empathy, wit, and generosity, she offers potent insights into the mysterious nature of inspiration. Whether we are looking to write a book, make art, find new ways to address challenges in our work, embark on a dream long deferred, or simply infuse our everyday lives with more mindfulness and passion, Big Magic cracks open a world of wonder and joy. And I've certainly lost enthusiasm and creativity and inspiration in many realms of my life over the past year. So I'm really hoping that, you know, this will ignite something within me in 2020 and yeah, just spark that new creativity and passion. My May read is Girl Stop Apologizing by Rachel Hollis. I already have reread her first one, which is Girl Wash Your Face. I sort of did that at the tail end of 2019 when sort of all my books were starting to wane away, and I'm keen to get into this one as well. It says a shame-free plan for embracing and achieving your goals. And when I sort of flick through, I realized that I've kind of gone and done some highlighter in there. So obviously there was a lot of stuff that I really enjoyed the first time, and I'm really keen to get stuck into this again. I remember it being really helpful in terms of like how to come up with goals, how to plan for them, and also just like lifestyle stuff as well. So really keen on Rachel Hollis. My June book, which is my birthday month, so I really did select a good one for my 31st birthday celebrations, and it is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. How to stop doubting your greatness and start living an awesome life. Pretty much, I feel like everyone knows about this book and everyone's sort of talked about it heaps of times, so we know that it is fantastic. On the back it says, identify and change the self-sabotaging beliefs and behaviors that stop you from getting what you want. Make some damn money already, the kind you've never made before. So I've read this twice already. I've already gotten heaps from it, so I'm super psyched to read that a third time. This is The Year of Less by Kate Flanders, and basically it's her personal journey of a whole year of her sort of embarking on a minimalist journey, a time of saving, healthy living and eating. And it says, it has been more than 6 months since my first declutter and purge, and there were lots of things in my apartment I had kept but still hadn't used. I could have broken it down by room for a blog post and listed off what was in the bedroom, kitchen, living room, office and bathroom for readers. But there were really only 2 categories I could see, the stuff I used and the stuff I wanted the ideal version of me to use. There were books I thought smart Kate should read, clothes I thought professional Kate would wear, projects I thought creative Kate could tackle. I would do it all one day and become a better person one day. This time, one day it never came. So this one is really great if you're interested in like just changing your life or getting rid of stuff and just, I don't know, being yourself, I guess. So definitely give this one a read. My August read is The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. If you are in a relationship or even thinking about getting into a relationship, you certainly need to read this book. Essentially, the premise is that we don't all show love in the same way. In fact, that there are 5 different ways that we show love, and each person might sort of gravitate towards one way or another. For instance, I give and receive love by quality time. So if I'm wanting to spend quality time with you, that is kind of the way that I show you that I love you. But some people, for instance, my partner, his love language is physical touch. So even though I might be spending heaps of quality time with him, I need to be like holding his hand or cuddling him or something like that in order to show him that I love him and for him to feel loved by me. So figuring out your love language and figuring out your partner or your husband's or like wife or whatever's love language is really important for us to understand ourselves and our significant other better and feel loved and show others love in the way that they can receive it best. My September read is You Do You by Sarah Knight. I've only read this one once, but it's basically kind of about being yourself, which sounds like it should be pretty easy, but in today's day and age, it actually feels really hard. This idea of live authentic, be authentic, but who are we? We're trying to figure it out, so it's really hard. It says on the back, being yourself should be easy, right? Yet instead of leaning into who you are and what we want, we let ourselves be ruled by what other people expect. Rather than feeling confident and in control, we feel anxious and insecure. If this sounds familiar, best-selling anti-guru Sarah Knight has 3 words for you. You do you. And I feel like the first time I read this, I was super empowered. I'm like, yeah, I need to do me. But then like I kind of just went back to my everyday life. So it's almost like I need that little catch up and a reminder of, yeah, I need to do me on a daily basis. Only 3 more books left in the year, and my October read is the second one in the Vampire Academy series, and it is called Shadow Kiss. In this one we've got like even more action, even more romance happening. I feel like I've only read this one maybe once or twice, and it was so long ago, so I'm really keen for like a catch up on the whole series. I didn't mention this when I was talking about the first Vampire Academy book, but they did make a movie only out of the first one. I think there's like 6 books in total, and the movie was crap. It was so bad. It was by the guy who did Mean Girls, so I thought that it would be like pretty good, but no, it was terrible. It was really terrible. It was on Netflix for some time. I would not recommend watching it. It is called Vampire Academy, but just don't waste your time, don't watch it. Instead, read the books. They are 10 billion times better. I've only got 2 more books left in the year, and I'm super excited about this one. It is When Wanderers Cease to Roam, and it is by Vivian Swift. This book has been in my collection for so many years, and it is a beautiful coffee table book, and I just love, the thing that I love the most about it is all the glorious watercolor artwork. There are just some fantastic pictures throughout, and it just really gets me inspired every single time. But basically it is a year in her life, and every single month there's like different artwork and stories and how she's staying put in that month. So it says, I bumped around the world for 20 years before I suddenly decided to unpack my duffel bags once and for all. On a whim, I chose a small village on the Long Island Sound to be my happily ever after address. Little did I know that home would be the most extraordinary place I ever visit. When Wanderers Cease to Roam is my illustrated chronicle of that special place at the end of the road, filled with watercolor paintings and pen and ink drawings, and a month-by-month account of the landscapes, activities, and overlooked pleasures of easy living. It shows how the memories of our past and the delights of our daily lives are always with us, to be stored and celebrated year round. This one is just so beautiful. It really just, it makes me want to go to Long Island, number one. And it really just makes me so thankful of like living a slow life and staying put. It's so beautiful to be able to travel and be busy and doing things, but sometimes just slow living and just like little things and appreciating the everyday mundane is where the true beauty of life is. My 12th and final book is a bit of a mystical one. In fact, it's actually called Material Girl Mystical World, The Now Age Guide to a High Vibe Life, and it's by Ruby Warrington. This book is all about how Ruby started, I guess, shifting her thinking and getting into some new age type practices, and it really just like breaks it down for people like me who have no idea about that sort of stuff. It says, Material Girl Mystical World is a fabulous adventure in the now age, a sophisticated upgrade on cosmic thinking, from healing crystals to doing your dharma, for women who know that a closet full of designer shoes can happily coexist with a deeply meaningful life. So I just thought this one would be like a little bit of a kooky, interesting, quirky kind of end to my 2020 reading year. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about the 12 books that are going to be on my reading list for 2020. I would love it if you guys commented down below, what are your reading plans this year? What's number one on your reading list, and which ones of the books I mentioned have you read and enjoyed? I love it when we sort of start to share and talk about the things we all love and enjoy, and it would be fantastic to make a little bit of a book club ourselves. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and have a fantastic week, everyone. I'll see you all in next week's video. Bye guys.